folks along the road, just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathered along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1962 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the Bladen races.
Yes, good evening, people. Welcome back to another Content John Sinclair TV, back again for the transfer update show. I've got Tony, I've got Mason, I've got a new guest from Portugal, and a Benfica fan, Nuno Pesado. Good evening to you guys, and good evening to Nuno.
Evening, everybody.
Hello.
Evening, John.
Hello.
Evening, Nuno.
Thank you for having me.
No problems at all. We have to start with our guest, Nuno. We are going to talk about the latest on Gonzalo Ramos from Benfica, and he scored twice against Newcastle as well, documented, and also he has been linked with Newcastle United and Wolverhampton Wanderers, but mainly us anyway. So, Nuno, welcome to the show. And
thank you.
So you've got plenty of Portuguese experience on the side there.
Yeah. Gonçalo plays for my team, for Benfica. He's having a great start of the year so far. So it's not a surprise that he's been linked with some English clubs from the Premier League. We've been hearing about that for about 3 weeks now, constantly about Newcastle. I don't believe Wolves are interested in him, but let's see. It's always that Portuguese connection on Wolves. But yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Fantastic.
What do you want to know?
What we want to know is, what we know of Ramos is obviously not Newcastle fans don't know of him. I certainly don't know a lot of him anyway. But what does he bring? What is the style of player? And where did he begin his career, basically?
Yeah, he's been playing for Benfica since he was a young kid. He's been part of the Benfica Academy for about more than 10 years, I believe. So he's another product of the Benfica Academy. On the likes of Bernardo Silva, João Félix, Ruben Dias, you know all the players that came from Benfica. He has been on a slow start. Let's just say that. It's finally getting comfortable in the team this year. So far, he has 4 games and 4 goals. He scored a hat-trick against Midtjylland and another goal this weekend against Casapia in the league game. So we believe he's finally getting his confidence levels high, so he can show what his real worth.
Sure. And what do you think his value is today in the transfer market as transfer value today? How much do you think the guy's worth? I mean, according to our here, they're saying £25 million, around about 30 odd million euros. But I believe Benfica wants around about 35 million English sterling money.
Well, if you know the market, and if you've been watching the market for the past few years, you know Benfica doesn't sell cheap. João Félix, 120 million euros. Ruben Dias, 66 million euros. All our players will go for that kind of money. In part because they are good. We have a very good academy. They are players with high potential, but also because Benfica doesn't have that need to sell. So we are comfortable waiting for the players to grow. And we won't sell you Gonzalo Ramos for cheap. That's for sure. The talks here in Portugal have been around 40 million euros. It is said that's the money the Benfica wants. I'm not really sure if Gonçalo is worth that money today. In fact, I'm sure he doesn't. But I think he has a lot of potential. He's a tremendous goal scorer. He's an excellent finisher. He has a spectacular heading game. As you saw in the game against you, he scored on a corner kick. So I think he could be a very interesting addition to the Premier League. Maybe not Newcastle, we don't know, but in the Premier League for sure, because he's a very strong player. He has 1 meter 85 centimeters, 81 kilos. He's very strong. He's a man of the area. So he's not an Alan Shearer. Let's just say that. If your expectation is to get a star in the immediately, a player will go to your team and score this year 30 or 35 goals. He will probably won't be that player. But he's a tremendous worker. He has scored twice against Fulham this year already in the preseason. He scored last year against Liverpool in the Champions League. He scored against you guys also in the preseason match. So he's a very good player. He's a tremendous finisher, and so that in the Premier League, I think it will be a tremendous asset. But the Premier League is a very different league than the Portuguese league. It's a farmers' league, as you call it. So it's always unsure what the answer of the player will be when he gets to a new team and a new championship. But I personally love Gonçalo. He's a tremendous worker. He works his ass off. So I don't know. 40 million euros probably at the moment, no, but I can see him getting there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what money Benfica wants.
Cool. I look at this record as national team of Portugal under 21. He's got a cracking goal score record, 14 goals in 18 games. And obviously, Benfica must have think highly of this guy. And look, I'll be proud. I'll be happy to get this player. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's not going to be Alan Shearer. You mentioned that. But he's going to get time in the Premier League. I mean, I think he's Premier League ready by the looks of it. I mean, also don't know a lot of him, but from the record I'm watching, I think he's ready for it. I think he's really ready for it, man. Do you know what I mean? And because you definitely need a striker. You need competition with Callum Wilson. Because if he gets injured, we're going to have Chris Wood. And we all know that he's not good enough at all whatsoever. So if you can get this guy for 30 million euros, I think that'd be an absolute bargain. Because if you buy an English player of this quality, we'll be talking about 50, 67 million quid. And you know the Premier League market in the transfers is so expensive.
For sure. I mean, as you were saying, his record for the Portuguese under 21 team is amazing. It gets to a point that you can feel that he's more comfortable playing with the players of his own age. So when he gets to the Portuguese side, he just starts scoring goals. It's unbelievable. It seems that the ball always goes to his head or his feet. It's unbelievable, and that tells me that when he has confidence, when he feels comfortable in the team and in the game, he's an absolutely goal machine. Unfortunately, he is taking it slower to get to the Benfica side. We are a very big club. We have a tremendous lot of supporters, so it's not easy. It's especially for a kid coming from the youth teams. But he's getting there. This year he has taken a leap. He's more comfortable. He's confident. He's scoring goals constantly. So I don't know. He's been the first choice on all of the games of the preseason and so far in the official games also from Roger Schmidt. He's always been our main target in the area. So I don't know. The one thing I can tell you that in terms of the physicality of the Premier League, he's absolutely ready. He's a beast. He's a very strong player. He's not very quick, but he's very strong. He likes to play in the area near the goal, and I don't know what else I can say. I'm a huge fan of Gonçalo, especially because he works very hard, and that tells me that he will be a very improved player in about 1 or 2 years. I don't know if Newcastle expectations for this kind of player. If you pay 30 or 40 million for a player like this, are you willing to wait for that kind of time, 2 years for a player to develop? I don't know if that is your expectation, but he has tremendous potential, and if you wait for him, you or any team that buys him, or maybe in Benfica, if he stays 2 years in Benfica, he will be a very much improved player in 2 years' time than he is now.
Yeah, then he'd probably go another 80 million like Darwin Núñez as well. I've got some comments about it. Any questions you'd like to ask Nuno, then please fire away. He'd be quite happy to answer your questions. And then please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and do follow Nuno on Benfica FM channel. Big up to Blue Podcast. He is first. Big up to I Like Coffee, hope you're okay, DS, even to you. And I've got hi Nuno, saying hi to you. Jim saying, evening, John, the co-host. Thank you very much. Jan saying 20 bottles on the way. Wow. And I think Ramos will be better signing than our plank would, and he cost 25 million quid. If we not spent 25 mil, we would have got him, by the way. Evening all, Joao Pedro's a little underwhelming, I have to agree. Good evening to Davey, and evening to FIFA. The Newcastle offers 70 mil for Watford. Rubbish striker. I'm sorry, John. Does this club really know what they're doing? Dan Ashworth is failing every week to sign players. We've gone cap in hand, mate. Listen, you got to trust Dan Ashworth, man. Listen, personally, he's skillful, but I wouldn't have him in my club, to be honest with you. Not for that sort of money in any case. How is Ramos compared to Núñez?
He's not. He's a completely different player. Yeah, he's a completely different player. Darwin is it's a love-hate relationship. When he was at Benfica, and his first year was more or less. His second year was absolute beast. He was a monster of a player, but he's still a player that is growing. He's 21 or 22 years old, but he's different from Ramos. Ramos is I believe is a player to play near the goal and just to finish. Darwin is more mobile, has a lot of more technique. He's quicker. He has tremendous speed. He's also very strong. But they are two different players. Yeah, I think.
Sinclair gone.
He's gone.
John left.
Yeah. So with Ramos, I think we would be prepared to sort of wait for him to come good, because Eddie Howe and his coaching team would get the best out of Ramos. He would get the best out of Ramos. You know, he'd come into the team, he'd sit on the bench for a while to see how things are going, and he'd come on and play minutes. And obviously, if Callum Wilson gets injured, then he'll probably step in and be Callum Wilson's replacement while he's on the treatment table. But yeah, I think our club would at least wait a couple of years for him to. I mean, we've got to forget he's only 21. He's still got to get to his peak yet. And
he's the kind. I'm sorry to interrupt, but he's the kind of player. He needs confidence. He needs a coach that believes in him. He needs to feel that his teammates play for him and trust him to score some goals. And that takes time. You have some players that go to a team and they immediately start scoring goals and playing like they were in their old team or the national team. I think Gonçalo is a little bit is a little bit shy. Let me say that. But if I'm telling you, if Newcastle or Wolves or any team that it gets him, has that patience, has the time to wait, he will be a tremendous addiction to any team. I hope he stays for Benfica because I like him. I think this is the year he's going to explode for sure. And next year you want him for 40 million. You won't get him for 40 million because Benfica sells very hard sellers.
But yeah, in Eddie Howe, we've got a coach who's very meticulous. So he likes his stats. So he likes to see what each player does individually. And he's got his own statistician for all that. All the coaches are all well drilled and planned as well. So if he come to Newcastle, he'd be well looked after on the training ground wise, and then he'd get used to the way the team play. Because under Eddie Howe we play differently. We play very attacking under Eddie Howe. And we've got Bruno Guimaraes in the midfield who
a very good player,
can put a great ball through. And we've got some good players at the club, you see, and he would fit. I think he would fit in quite nicely, to be honest. And then I think once he's up to speed with the Premier League, because this is what Eddie Howe did with Bruno, he kept him on the bench for about 3 or 4 games, and brought him on gradually just to let him see what the speed of the Premier League was like. And then once he came from his first full game, he's never looked back since, because Eddie Howe's taught him that this is the speed of the Premier League, and I want you to sit on the bench and just watch it so you can gauge it for yourself when you do come on. And then when you do play a full game, you're then up to speed with the pace of the Premier League, because it's a totally different pace to Primera Liga in Portugal or Liga in France. But yeah, I definitely think he would be a great signing, and it's one I hope we do wrap up, because like you say, if we don't get him this year, if he stays at Benfica and he has a great season, you won't get him for 40 million euros next season, that's for sure.
Just look at what happened to Darwin. No one wanted him last year, and this season Liverpool got him for 75 to 100 million, right? So probably with Gonçalo will be the same if he has a successful year. I can see him scoring 30 goals here in the Premier League, in the Primera Liga, sorry. So yeah, for sure you won't get him for 40 million in the next year.
Definitely not. I do apologise. Went off and not broadband's fine, but just got cut off. Do apologise. Mason, have you got any questions for Nuno?
Not I can think of, no.
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 Ask him any latest Portuguese player being linked to Newcastle. I mean, I know Sporting Lisbon. We was linked to a couple of Sporting Lisbon players last season, but now came through it as well. Yeah, got some any questions to Nuno do far away. Being to Gareth, I know people are having to go down Ashworth, which is not on. People are saying that they're sick of the transfer market for Newcastle. Bids kept being rejected all the time. Bids always get rejected. The last thing we want is to get mugged off for an average player. Let the transfer window close. I agree with that all the way. Keegan would be ashamed that we begged even top six team for players that they said they want Keegan to come help. Even Eddie begged Keegan for help with how he did it there. And he also added John. They all got a point since Ashworth turned up. Chances have got worse. Eddie Howe did a better job on his own in January. Nuno, do you know anything about Newcastle's transfer window at all by any chance? Do you know? Because the way we do it, right, we only offer a player what they're worth, right? And if it gets rejected and they ask for more money, they know we're the richest club in the world, right? So we're not going to get ripped off by any club asking for a stupid amount of money. Like, for example, right, we went for Musa Diaby from Leverkusen for 40 million quid. They want 60 million quid. We tried to get James Maddison, offered him 40 million, 45. Again, less than 160 mil. We walked away. Can you blame Newcastle United walking away from deals that the deals aren't right?
Yeah, you need to understand from a foreigner point of view, when we see players like Maguire going for 90 million or 100 million, is not worth not even half. So the other clubs in Portugal, in France, and Italy start to think, wait a minute, if they pay 100 million for that kind of player, they have to pay for all players too. So I think it's normal when we see not necessarily Newcastle, but an English team, especially a Premier League team, come to our club and ask information about a player. You will get probably 20 or 25% more asked than the other club. I think it's normal because as you were saying previously, the English market is super high. You are paying ridiculous amounts of money for mediocre players, so it's normal that the outsiders ask you for more money because they know you will pay. It's a bit it's a bit like this. The Maguire deal was shocking. I don't know. You have.
I think that's one of the worst signings I've seen for a long time. I mean,
yeah, for instance, Darwin. If Darwin went to Spain or Italy, or he would probably go for less money. I'm sure, because we know they wouldn't pay as much as Liverpool did. So it happens. It happens a bit to us in a very minor way, because when we go to Argentina or Brazil, as they know we buy cheap and sell expensive, they will charge us more. of course, not 100 million, not 50 million, but a few years ago we would go to Argentina and pay 8 million for a good player. Now we have to pay 15, 20 million for a player. We just got Enzo Fernandez, a tremendous player. We paid 18 million for him. So it's like this.
It's circus, isn't it? Going through his comments. Hi lads, apparently we went back for Madison at 55. All speculation till doing medical, but things are definitely moving this week, and it's only Monday. Good show, guys. Stephen, thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate those kind words, mate. John, I suppose it's cheapness. If Benfica want a player, if they had the money, they would do it because they're a big club. They sign top players. You're forgetting you pay what teams want. Wow, Tony, what do you make of that one, mate?
Well, not really, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're putting in bids that, as we've all said, the club are putting in bids for a player that they think is worth that money at that time. So, like Moussa Diaby, we said, look, he's worth 40 million. Same with James Maddison. We think he's worth 40 million. With the James Maddison, because he's got 2 years left on his contract, if he was on a long-term contract, say he had another 4 or 5 years on his contract, then if Leicester asked for 60 or 70 million, then you would understand that. But for a player like Maddison, who's only got 2 years on his contract, then 40 million is about the right price to pay for a player who hasn't got long left. Now, if, say, for instance, Leicester decide he doesn't sign a contract and they cash in on him next year, they won't even get anywhere near 40 million from him because he'll only have a year left. And then technically, in the January of the following year, he could walk away free because he can sign a pre-contract agreement abroad. So clubs like Leicester, although they're trying to up the ante, they do want us to pay over the odds. But I've always said sometimes it's always better buying players from abroad and bringing them in because you get them at a better rate because English clubs want too much for players. You know, I mean, you look back like a few years ago when Van Dijk moved from Southampton to Liverpool, he went for 75 million. But he is a cracking defender. There's no doubt about it. So, you know, Liverpool fans could see that was £75 million worth spent. Fair enough. But then you see Maguire moving Leicester to Man United for 80 million. And that was Man U being mugged off. So sometimes you've just got to try and set a precedent where you don't want to go too high, because once you start going high, then that sets a precedent with other clubs. Then the other clubs decide then, right, well, if Newcastle are going to pay top money for them, so when the likes of Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham come knocking, they're going to have to pay top money as well. So we're just trying to keep the thing calm by saying, look, we'll pay what we think the player's worth. And if we don't get the way we want it, we'll walk away and we'll look elsewhere. And that's exactly what they're doing at the moment. And the same with the Joe Pedro thing. I think they went up to 20 million. That's been knocked back as well. To be honest with you, I would walk away from that deal now. Because there's no disrespect to Joe Pedro. I suppose in a few years' time, he might become a decent player. But I think at the moment, he's not worth the money. If I'm honest, if the money is 40 million euros for Ramos, then I think I would rather we went for Ramos than Joe Pedro.
100%. And Good DS is saying English prices are pleasant overpriced. And he's right there. What are Benfica's goals for the new season, you know?
Yeah, we always fight for the Portuguese championship and all the internal titles, the Portuguese Cup and the Super Taça and the League Cup. In the Champions League, we aim to do our best, get through the first stage, to get to the quarterfinals, and then it's game by game. I think that's it. If we get to the Europa League, if we don't pass to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, we probably want to win it. in the Benfica is a massive club. So even when our teams are not very good, our expectations are always very high. It's a bit crazy, but it's like one of those big team karma. We always have to fight for the championship, even when our team is not that good. So that adds a lot of pressure. But we always fight for the titles here in Portugal. It's our way. It's the only way.
Yeah. Massive club, Benfica. Absolutely massive. When that grand stadium is packed, believe you me, the atmosphere is absolutely electric. What areas need strengthening from Benfica? I think we read that. But have we read that? Yeah, we have. What areas have need strengthening for you? You've got a few players in, haven't you?
Yeah, all the players that have come in this year have been pretty great. Honestly, it's kind of surprising. We got Enzo Fernandez from River. River Plate, an Argentinian midfielder, tremendous player. He's been a star so far. It's unbelievable. He adapted very quickly. We paid 18 million for him. It was not cheap. We got to David Neres. He played in Ajax. He was in Shakhtar. A winger, tremendous player. He's injured now, so we hope he gets well soon. But it's a tremendous player. He has tremendous flair with the ball. We bought some players from Brazil. João Vitor from Corinthians, also a very quick central defender. And so we are still lacking in some areas. If I was in charge, I would probably get more four or five players. You know how it goes. We always want more and more and more. We need wingers. If you have some wingers available, you can send it to us. Good players. Almiron is a winger. I like Almiron. He scored us 2 goals, but he was a very, very good player. If you don't want him, you can send it to us. I saw comments talking about Everton Soares. He's not longer at Benfica. We sold him back to Flamengo. He was not that good at Benfica. And we got the David Neres for him. David Neres has been amazing so far. So that's it.
Fantastic. Would you take Chris Wood from Newcastle?
Probably not, because it would be very expensive. It would be the thing is, and you need to understand about Gonzalo Ramos. We are willing to sell him for the right price. I mean, because we have another youngster, tremendous youngster available. It's Henrique Araújo. He's tremendous. He's 19 or 20 years old. He has loads of confidence. He seems the ball is in love with him. He's a tremendous player, and that's why we might sell Gonçalo to you or on any other team for the right price. I mean, because we have more 3 or 4 strikers available that are also very, very good. And Henrique Araújo, 19 years old, I believe, he's tremendous. He was going to be a tremendous player. We were probably talking about him in a year in your podcast about Henrique Araújo.
Yeah. Definitely, 100%. If he's linked with us, we'll be chatting to him all the time. Go through this comments this one for Gal Mason's take. Football's based on what team thinks they're worth. Van Dijk went to Southampton for 50 million. They sold him a year later, 75 mil. Liverpool then don't have that money, but they've paid it. And Alan, I miss your comment, mate. Trippier, Bruno came to us very quietly, and Botman deal was telling the WhatsApp, but look what happened. Let's all sit back, relax. Things will happen unexpectedly. I'm sure of that, Alan. I miss your comment. There you go. And Ravi's talking to Tom. Tony, it ain't what we think. You have standard value. You need to get that into your head. We are a bottom team, so you pay more the bigger you are, then you can detect the transfer. Wow. Everyone's talking to everybody else. I think we need to upgrade our brand value before you can spend big. What's Jack Grealish worth this money? 100 million. Mason, what's he worth 100 million, Mason? Jack Grealish. Good player.
He is a good player, but I think after last season, I think he didn't perform to the expectation of what Manchester City thought of him. With being signed for 100 million, Man City fans would have thought he would have been up there, but after last season, I don't think so. I think he's downgrade 50 million after last season. I think he just wasn't up for it.
Yeah, he needs a big season though. By the way, Man City. but it's the Newcastle channel, not Man City channel. But there you go. Whoever scored Everton, you mentioned this, Suarez, amazing to think again. Amazing Gremio with 3 goals in 27 league games last season isn't good enough. He needs to do better for Benfica. And he's 26 now, no excuses. He's 26 years old. You just said he's back at Flamengo.
Yeah, we sold him to Flamengo for 13 million. Yeah, we
13.
had enough. He had it. Yeah, we bought him for 20. We sold him for 13. Probably with some bonuses to get to 15, but that's what we get. He was not very good at Benfica, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Yeah, totally there. Look at that kid. His only goal last season was against us. He's had 2 years in the Prem. He's done now. We talk about you. Wow, Pedro there. And 5 years comes to mate. I'll be content if you manage to bring in Ramos or Paqueta with you on that one as well. I was going to say, just go a couple more before we go back to Nuno, Pulisic, and Zagoi, Cordy, Gakpo. There are a lot of talent out there. I'm sorry, it's cheapness. Jordan is still our biggest transfer. Look, mate, you just got to be patient, mate. Yeah, signings are calm. Just calm, mate. That's all you got to do. But I see your point. I think you can battle situation. I've no doubt the club are working sensibly and efficiently as they can. They've done now to suggest otherwise since they got here. Keep the faith. That's from Carl. Enzo Fernandez, 9 million is a great deal. Joao Victor, only 7.6 mil. Usually Benfica gets it right. Signings from over here in South America. Who's your coach at Benfica?
Roger Schmidt. He came from PSV. He was in the Netherlands last year. He coached Leverkusen some years ago. He's been very good so far. We have won all the games we made in the preseason and in the official games in the Champions League and the championship. So far so good. He has implemented a very offensive-minded tactics and mindset. It's tremendous. So we are in love with Roger Smith so far. If we will talk again, maybe in 6 months, maybe it's not that we were not that in love. But that's football. But so far so good. He's been tremendous.
I tell you what, though, he's on a long-term contract. Is he on a 4-year deal, 3-year deal?
2 years.
2, yeah. Fair enough. I mean, he plays good football as well, by the way. João Pedro would be a right forward. He can play across the front 3, but still in for Ramos, 40 mil. Would see a real in for both, and Conor Gallagher on loan. We'll come on to him in a bit. And we've read about Manny's getting pumped on Sky Sports. I like coffee. He's talking about I like coffee. Paul, remember when Rio said us fans should have a whip round and buy the club? Oh, how the tables have turned, Mason. Rio Ferdinand's getting stick.
Not surprised. Just showed you. He's an absolute bellend of a bloke. Complaining about us when we had Mike Ashley. Look what's happened now to his favourite team in the Northwest. The exact same. I mean, come on. The club's just... I just don't want to kick off again because you know how much I really hate him.
Yeah, calm down, Mason, man. Calm down, mate. Save that for Macy tomorrow. Almiron would be better off at Benfica, to be fair. Like, Nuno would love to have him. The fans will appreciate him a lot more. Our fans give him stick, even when he plays well, sadly. That is the thing. Listen, he has a good game. Let's go on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I sort of agree because on the Almiron thing, and this was something I said before this, after the season ended, I said if Almiron was to move on, the 2 best leagues where Almiron would show his skills more would be either in La Liga in Spain or in Primera Liga in Portugal, because of the way the game's played. If say, for instance, we get a right winger in and another midfielder or 2, then maybe we could look at saying, let Almiron go. Would we? I mean, Benfica may do it, but they may be and think, oh, okay, they may do a bit of a player plus cash exchange for Ramos for Almiron. You know, and it's right what Foxy said. He'd probably be a star over there for Benfica, you know. And as Nuno's rightly pointed out, he would have Almiron in the Benfica team all day.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I don't know him very well, but I was impressed. He's a very quick player. He has a good technique. I don't know if he's unstable or if he does one good game and 10 lousy games. I don't know if he's that kind of player, but from what I saw, he was good.
He
He's
plays
quick,
in the number
especially
10.
that he's quick.
Yeah, he plays in the number 10 role, but we've not really played him in that role, to be fair. So we haven't seen the best of him, because when he wasn't on the MLS in the number 10 role, he was electric. But really at Newcastle, he just has not been put in that role. And I've always said, if he's put in that role, let's see what he can do in the number 10 role, before we make judgment on him. We use him as a right winger at the moment. But yeah, I would like to see him go in that number 10 role, just see how he gets on. But you'd have to give him a few games. He plays that role for Paraguay and does really well. So I'm surprised we haven't picked up on that yet either.
Absolutely. Look, listen, end of the day, right? I mean, I know I want Miguel to do well. I really want the guy to do well, but he may not get enough targets, but I'm going to persevere with Miguel Almiron. I really do. I like him. I think he's a great guy, and I want him to succeed at Newcastle United. I mean, I want him to score 10 goals this season. I want him to get 10 assists. I want Miggy to be player of the season at Newcastle. And if he does that, guys, there will be no one happier than me, because I think he deserves it. But if he proves it, cool. But I'm not going to slate him. There's no way. Tiger, hey, John, that Pedro was a bit of a joke. There's a panic buy, time to worry. And David saying Man City bought Grealish, same way we bought Wood. And Fox said George Jesus went to Fenerbahce. I think he's there. I believe. He used to be at Flamingo. And you had him as well, didn't you, Nuno, for a short time?
Who? Sorry.
Nuno. You had Jorge Jesus for a short time, didn't you?
No, not for a short time. We had him two times now. First time for about 6 years, I believe. Then he left. He left to our main rival, Sporting. He won nothing. We won all the championships when he was there, and then he returned. He returned 3 years ago. He was there about a year and a half, and it was a complete disaster. He's a good player. He's a good coach, but he's not a good person. He was not good. He's not. He's that kind of coach. When things go well, he's tremendous. When things go sour, he's the worst man you can have in front of your team. So it was the second turn was really a disaster for us.
Wow, wasn't good then, because he left Flamengo to come to you. But wow, not good. Guys, if you like the video, like what you see, then please hit the like button. Also, hit the subscribe button if you are new. And if you'd like to super chat or donate, give what the channel's worth. Also, if you'd like to become a member, it's 99p. Just click on the join button. It's that easy. And do follow Tony Tooney31 on his Twitter, Miason on Twitter, and also do follow Nuno on Benfica FM pod on Twitter as well. Sounds a great guy. Big up to Pablo, even likes of you well. Like, subscribe. This is the best tune YouTube, sure. Thank you very much, Pablo. I really appreciate that, Mias. John, Liverpool's the top 5 side when they brought together their side with Van Dijk and Janssen and Keita, Salah, Mane, and so on. But John, we don't have their start points, so we have to spend. We have to. I agree with you, mate. They have to spend. But trust these owners, yeah? Be patient, man. We just took Luis Suarez, 35 at the time, but he's gone back to Montevideo.
At Benfica?
Yeah, would you take him?
No. For Benfica, it makes no sense. We have a lot of strikers. It would be tremendous. It would be a very expensive player in wages terms. At Benfica, it doesn't make sense because we have Gonçalo, we have Henrique Araújo, we have some other players that are trying to grow and become a good players. And when you buy a player like Luis Suarez, you have to play him. He has to be your main striker. So it would delay the development of the other players, and we would spend tremendous kind of money with little or no return. So for Benfica, it would make no sense. Probably for Newcastle, it would make a lot more sense. Yeah.
Sure. Boston Forever, I'm not going to display it on my screen. It's in caps. Please, we do not accept caps on my shirt. If you can type in what you want, cool, but we do not accept caps on my shirt. And it's not going to be displayed shouting, mates. I do apologize. I get your point, by the way. We definitely need a new striker. Wilson's not reliable, injured a lot, and Wood ain't worth talking about. Rashford could be available. Would you take him? For me personally, I wouldn't take him. Tony wouldn't take him. Mason, I'm pretty sure, would not have taken him. And I would never take him. There's
nobody from there.
His attitude's all wrong, John. I wouldn't, he's just, even, looking at the weekend, he just wasn't interested in not being funny, but he's not really doing it. And to be honest with you, since he got involved in all this politics business with, feeding hungry families and all this, no disrespect, I mean, a great job he's done. I'm not going to call him for that, because I think, excellent campaign he done, and, to get the government to listen, which, hats off to him. But since he's got on board with all that, his game's gone downhill, and I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole, if I'm honest, unless you get the Marcus Rashford that comes in and hits the ground running, but I can't see it in my eyes. Unless we could get him on a loan deal maybe and see how he does on a loan deal, but I doubt Man U would let him go on a loan deal.
I wouldn't have him there, full stop. I just
Absolutely
don't think
not.
he's just gone backwards. It's gone backwards at the minute. If it was great, then could I take him? But at the end of the day, I mean, basically, I've plenty to say about him tomorrow on my show, the Premier League show tomorrow. And I'll tell you something, she ain't happy at all whatsoever. I tell you that for now. And let's go on to Tiger Studios. Almiron's not good enough. I don't get why people don't see it. That's fair enough. Theo's talking to Bear and got Foxy again. On about Otamendi used to play for Man City. What's your opinion in Portugal for Otamendi? As in England, he is generally criticised as a poor defender. I noticed he was a captain for your team. Is he still at your club, or is he still your captain?
Yeah, he still is. He is playing. He is playing in the main squad.
And
So in the first 10 games when he arrived last year, they were really poor, borderline disaster. But then he got his head straight, and he's been really good for us since then, especially last year, because we played in a more defensive style, so that suited him better because he didn't have to run. He's at 34, 35 now. He's a very slow central defender, so he struggles when he has to go against quick players. But we'll see. I believe he will probably end the year with Otamendi on the bench or sold to Argentina, because he has very high wages, and we have very good central defenders, young central defenders. As you said, João Vitor from Corinthians is a very quick player. Yes. I think it's a matter of time that Otamendi leaves the first team. Let's just say that. But so far, he has been tremendous. We like him a lot. He's our captain. He gives every game. He gives 100%. So far, we have nothing bad thing to say about Otamendi. Only good.
Fair enough. What about he used to play called Lucial as well? The big lad Lucial, from Brazilian at the back.
Yeah,
he was a canny defender. Him at the time. Did he stay at Benfica for the rest of his career, or did he go back to Brazil?
No, yeah, he's still at Benfica. He has some. I don't know what the title of the job he does, but he usually is with our team, with the main team. He's on the bench next to our coach. So probably Luizão will be for Benfica for more 10 or 20 years. I don't know. He played 14 years, I think, for us. So very, very, very good central defender. He was not that quick. So that's why I think he was at Benfica so much time. But it's curious. You talk about Luizão, but I think some players have this problem. They are very good, but they don't fit in some leagues. He would not fit in the Premier League because it was so slow. But some players that played next to him became much better players just playing by next to him. You have Garay, Argentinian central defender, tremendous player. David Luiz played for Chelsea a long time. All those players played next to Luizão, and their level kept getting higher just before playing next to him. Such a very good, competent defender. Yeah, so some players are like that. So the context of the teams they get to play and the leagues they get to play, it's very important. You have some stars that probably would go to the Premier League, and maybe Messi. I'm not sure if Messi went to the Premier League, such a physical league, would be the Messi we know in Spain. I don't know if this makes sense. Messi is a tremendous player, probably the best
Yes.
ever, but the Premier League is another. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's very physical. It's much. It's very different from the Spanish league. So it would still be very good, but probably not the Barcelona Messi we know. So the context is very important.
Absolutely. Got some comments as well. And before I get on to Mason, I totally agree with what you said about Rashford gone down since that food thing. FIFA, John, love your show. Thank you very much indeed, man. But it's like opening this window. We signed a player we made good last season, a 33 million centre back and bought for 10 mil in installments. We've already paid 2 million up front. So thanks for the compliments, by the way. And just hang in there, man. Hang in there, mate. But I know you're frustrated by not getting players in, but we just got getting the right kind of player. And Gary as well, there's someone called himself Joe Linton. He was a pain in the arse for writing in caps letters, John, mate. Could be Joe Linton. If it's Joe Linton, I don't mind. Big up to Jay Sweet, by the way. Hope you're okay. Watford's turned down 70 million for Joao Pedro. Thank God, definitely good enough. Looks like Ramos will be staying too. Just to say, love your show, mate. Love that you take the time to read out people's comments up to Newcastle United. AG, thank you so much for your kind words. And surprised Benfica, Jota and Celtic, pretty cheaply. Were the fans disappointed with that sale? Or was it time for him to move on? He looked impressive every time I watched Celtic. We're going to hold on to that question. Mason, you got a question, mate?
He's already been mentioned, but I want to ask about another centre-back. I want to ask about Jan Vertonghen. What's he like? Does he fit well into the Benfica side?
Good question.
No. Not at all, because it's not a problem about Vertonghen. We love Vertonghen. He's a super professional. He's a very good player. The problem is we also have Otamendi. So last year we had two very slow central defenders, Vertonghen on the left and Otamendi on the right. So if we had, for instance, Vertonghen and a quick player on the right, a young player on the right, a younger player on the right, and maybe some players with different style, Vertonghen would be superb for us. But the fact is, he's been playing with Otamendi, so we suffered a lot last year. We ended up playing a more defensive style, I don't know if you saw the Liverpool games, but we defended very from the back because of that, because we had to defend because our central defenders were very slow. But we all love Vertonghen. He's a super professional. It's just a matter of his pairing with Otamendi. It's not very good because they are both very slow. They are very experienced, obviously, but it's unfortunate.
Not good. He was a great defender at his time at Spurs. Go back to that question about Jota, leave for Celtic, left them very cheaply. How much did it cost? How much did he sold them for? I'm a Celtic fan. I mean, it must have been quite cheap. I said 7 million, something like that.
7.5 mil. Yeah.
Something. Yeah, I thought so.
The truth is, we didn't sell him. It's more complicated than that. When we loaned him, we had a buyout clause for 7.5 million because I believe the Benfica people thought that Jota would not. They had given up on him. We tried to put him on the main team for about 2 years. Things didn't work out for him. He was always very nervous, very anxious. Benfica is his club. He loves Benfica, so he was really trying too hard, maybe harder than he should. He should have relaxed a bit to enjoy his game. And so when they sent him to Scotland, I believe they thought, he will. Let's just see what happens. If they buy him, they buy him. And then Jota exploded. Jota in Celtic showed the player he was when he was playing in our youth teams. And so obviously Celtic bought him for cheap. And they will probably in 2 or 3 or 4 years, they will sell him for a lot more money. So it's really, really unfortunate for us. I would say that if we had the option now, we would never sold him, especially because we need wingers. Jota loves Benfica. All the Benfiquistas love Jota. So, but we were that buyout clause. It was unfortunate. It was an unfortunate mistake that Celtic enjoyed.
Yeah.
They are very happy. I know they love him.
Oh, we love him as well, man. I think he's a damn good player. He really, really is.
He's an exciting player. He's an exciting player, and I think he will be even better when he gets older and he gets more maturity. He's very bright. He's a bright young man. He's real. I hope he has a lot of success. He deserves it.
Absolutely. Let's hope we get him from Celtic in future years, and that's the first player I go for. 100%. If he's available, he should be all over the sky. And would you take a chance? Would you guys take a Carabao Cup win or top 5 in Newcastle United? For me, I'd go both, because if we get European football, I thought it'd be fantastic for us in Newcastle United. If we get a top 5 finish, that gets in Europa League, I'll be happy with that. If we win a Carabao Cup, that is an honour as well. That gets into European football anyway. And Tony, would you be happy with that? Would you take a top 5, or would you go for a Carabao Cup? For me personally,
I would take. Sorry, John. I would definitely take both, without a doubt. If people heard my prediction show a few weeks ago, I did say I had us down to win the Carabao Cup. So I would definitely say yes to that, and yes to a top 5. And also, John, not just the fact that we could finish the top 5, because we could, because look how crestfallen not only Man United are, but also West Ham United. They're second bottom respectively, and also, so we're above them. We're above Leicester. We're above Brighton at the moment. So there's no reason, and I just think it just needs that little tweak, 2 or 3 more signings, 2 or 3 more bits of quality into the squad to fine-tune up front. And once we get the forward, midfield and forward line sorted out, I think once we're away, that will be it, and we'll be on a flyer. That's all we need. We just need to make sure we get them 2 or 3 people, them 2 or 3 players in that are going to make that little difference, give that extra bit of creativity to the forward line. And there's no reason why we can't, because no disrespect to, I can see us finishing above Man United this season. If that's the way they're playing, then we'll finish above them, because as I've said to you earlier, not only have they got Liverpool next Monday, but then they've also got to go to Southampton at the end of the month. And if they don't pick up any points, they're in serious trouble.
They are. Oh, wow. I'm going to take Nino's question that in a minute. John, look at Jota. He's a player. Newcastle could we look at Celtic always sell when 30 million is off that. He's an amazing wide player. I think he needs to be there for a season and 2, and I think Celtic will sell him anyway. It's a shame, but he loves Celtic. Celtic loves him. I think up the season. Maybe Jota just needs to move away from Portugal to grow up and mature a bit. There's been a few youngsters. He has high expectations, but never worked for them. Just like Gedson Fernandes. Look what happened to him. And cut before top 5.
He was also a Benfica player, Gedson. Gedson Tavares was also a Benfica player. He went to Tottenham from Benfica.
Absolutely. I mean, where's he at now? Is he at Benfica or is he at another club?
No, he's at Besiktas from Turkey. We sold him to Turkey for 7.5 million. Wow. He has no head, so he's not a very bright player, so he would probably...
Fair enough.
He got lost in Turkey. You will never heard of him, probably.
Fair enough. Us and Man City on teams are conceding this year, but who concedes this week? I still thought we'd get beat off Man City. I can't lie. They're too good a team. They're like a machine. It's as simple as that. What are the people saying off topic? What are the people saying in Portugal? Are Newcastle United are a big club in Portugal? Have they got a big fan base in Portugal? For Newcastle United.
I think we all know Newcastle was one of the biggest clubs in England. I remember when in 94, when Shearer was there, 94, 95, 96, when Shearer was there, you were head-to-head with Manchester United. You almost won the league a few times. But it seems like a club never took that extra steps to to get to where the supporters thought it should be. In Portugal, for instance, Cristiano Ronaldo goes to Manchester United, so the majority of the Portuguese fans support Manchester United, and now in Manchester City we have all the Benfica players they have, so almost the Benfica fans support Manchester City because of Ronaldo, Ruben, Cancelo, they are all ex-Benfica players. So I know a guy who loves Newcastle, but it's only one. But it's probably, if Newcastle gets a good team and builds a strong squad, we will probably get a much more support here. Yeah, because we all know Newcastle is a very big club. We all know it's probably I think Manchester is close, I believe, but in the north, Newcastle is probably the biggest club in England. So we all know that it's a tremendous club. You got a bit of left behind when the Premier League started. Yeah, that's unfortunate for you, I believe.
Yes, it is, unfortunately. But if we can get in Europe, if we can get sellouts every single week, which we will do, and if you get the top players coming for us, play for us, then things will be happening. This is why, Tony, we got to go to America. We got to go to America to get ourselves exposed. Play in Florida, play up in New York, and places like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's where Darren Eales will come in as well, because he's due to start work on the 22nd of August, I believe, which is next Monday. And obviously what he's done over in Atlanta, he's done wonders for their club. Obviously, nice. Miggy knows him as well. Almiron knows him. So that might be a good relationship as well. But, yeah, Darren Eales will get all the commercial side done, and he'll do all that back in the States and get us on a good tour there, I'm sure, next season, and for pre-season next season anyway. And I'm sure we could even get some commercial deals from the States as well. Mm-hmm. So, it's exciting times ahead, and I've got every faith in Darren Eales doing well, because you just got to look at the work he's done at Atlanta. Done an amazing job there, and he knows Dan Ashworth, so they've worked together, which is another good thing. So it seems to be that everything's sort of coming together now. It's all fitting in now, and but we just need the final pieces of jigsaw in the first team, and then I think we'll be fine.
Good answer. Good answer. I'll be going to America the moment we get a friend in America, Mason. I should be going, mate. Whether that's going to be, I should be doing that for a couple of weeks, and I've kind of decided I'm going to book a holiday in America, and I'll definitely be going, mate. And we've got I Like Coffee. Is there a possibility of Ronaldo going to Benfica?
Not at all. If he came to Portugal, he probably will end up in Sporting, our biggest rivals here in Lisbon and in Portugal, probably, because he played for them when he was a kid. And I don't know. I think at 37 years old, I believe. 36, yes, 37. It doesn't make. As Suarez didn't make sense, I think Ronaldo doesn't make sense at Benfica at this stage. But he's a very good player, no doubt. But he would probably end up in Sporting if no one wants him.
Yeah, I think that could be the ideal move for him. But apparently, this attitude is so wrong. They're considering ripping up his contract. We'll be talking about it tomorrow on the Premier League show with me, Tony, and Macy. So that'll be very interesting. Foxy, Portuguese players have done quite well, but for us, two good players, but never for us. Hugo Fayana and Helder. Now, what I want to talk about Hugo Fayana, right? When we bought him, everyone packed this guy up, right? They say he's the best player in Europe. We beat AC Milan for the signature, etc. The guy was 19 at the time, and the Premier League, right, was scaring him off a little bit. Like, do you know what I mean? And here the Hugo Fayana, he's played for Sporting Lisbon. I thought he was a cracking player when he played for Sporting. When he bought him, high hopes for the kid, but it just did not work out for him for some reason.
Yeah, no, he was. I remember when he started appearing in the Sporting side. I think he started playing with them when he was 18 or 19. I don't recall that. But it was a tremendous. He had tremendous maturity for the age, and that was surprising. And I think that led to Newcastle to believe that he will continue to develop and get to be an amazing player. And that never happened. I think Hugo Viana was the same player at 30 he was at 19 years old. He never evolved. That was a problem with Hugo Viana, because I truly understand why you got him when he was 19, because he was a very good player. He was a tremendous maturity for the age. Very, very good player. A tremendous left foot. But he never got to where people thought he would be. So it happens. But I think in that case, it was not a mistake. It was not a fail by Newcastle, because he was that good at 19. He just never got to be better than that.
Yeah, they've got really got a chance in Newcastle. But what did it for us, he scared off when he shied away for a tackle against Marseille, which led to the first goal. And then 10 seconds later, they scored from it as well. So it's down to him. Rico, big up to you, mate. Chelsea up the offer for 45 million for Gordon. So Anthony Gordon could be on his way to Chelsea if Everton decide to accept the deal. We read that Portuguese players never quite worked out. We read that Ronaldo, according to I Like Coffee, said he was a Benfica fan growing up before joining Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, but that was when he was a very young kid. He played for Sporting for long years, and then he developed feelings for that club. So today, I think he identifies as a Sporting fan. I'm sure of it. His mother always goes to the Sporting games, so I believe they would like him to play there. So that's why I say I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up there, because Sporting are in the Champions League and he's obsessed with the Champions League goal scoring record. That's why he wants to play in the Champions League. So as Sporting is there, and it will be the number one, the king there. He will do whatever he wants. If he doesn't want to train, he won't train. I will think probably he will get, especially if Manchester United gives him the boot, he will probably end up at Sporting, I think.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. We're going to go another 10 more minutes as well on this, sure. Excuse me. Yeah, I was going to say as well, before we do that, we talked about Callum, Hudson-Odoi. Hi to you, Lee. Hope you're here. Heard anything from Paul after you took a bad spell during this final and need sure. Hope he's still okay. He said he's okay, mate. When I heard the news, I was shocked. And I was absolutely gutted when I heard that as well. I only noticed on Saturday, early Sunday, and he is okay. I mean, as far as I know, he's okay. Paul, if you're watching me channel, mate, and I'll show you our mate, please stay strong for me. Take things easy and just be strong, my guy, because I love you to bits, man. He's the boss, man. And if you watch the Toon Review, check us this channel. It's the biggest channel in the Northeast. And Paul, got my heart, man. Get well soon, my guy. And if you want to chat at any time, you got my number. Go on that phone, mate. And here people saying that they don't rate Conor Gallagher, Chelsea midfielder, and that Shelby is better than him. Force really? I think Conor Gallagher's a brilliant player. He's a brilliant player. We linked to him as well. We linked to Callum, Hudson-Odoi as well, Tony as well. Got to be quick on this one because
Yeah. Conor Gallagher's he's proven in the Premier League. He's done it for West Brom. He's done it for Crystal Palace on loan. Hasn't really had the chance at Chelsea. I believe, though, I don't think Chelsea's going to let him go at the minute because obviously Kante went off with an injury yesterday. So depending how bad that injury is, they may not want to let him go now. Hudson-Odoi, he looks a good player, but he hasn't done it consistently enough, and he's had injuries, and apparently he's put a bit of weight on as well. So, not sure on Hudson-Odoi. If there was a choice of getting Pulisic in, I would get Pulisic. I know he's injury prone, but if you get him on a loan deal, see how he does for the season, how many games we get out of him. If we get a decent amount of games out of him, then maybe buy him. But I would definitely say go for Pulisic on loan. That would be a cracking signing. Conor Gallagher wouldn't be a bad signing. I don't think it's a backward step by any chance because he just needs a consistency of being at one club permanently where he can showcase his skills week in and week out. And he's only 22 and he's nowhere near his peak yet and he's still got time to develop. So, if we brought him in, give the guy a chance. I'll back him 100%.
Absolutely. Mason, your take on Hudson-Odoi and also Conor Gallagher. Would you take him or take Pulisic as well?
For me, I would give Alfredo a shout. Hudson-Odoi, start with him. Rather by injuries, I feel sorry for the lad because he looks a decent player, but he's been hampered by injuries, and I think we could give him a chance. Bearing in mind if Chelsea want him to go out on loan and get some game time, which he wants to, because Borussia Dortmund have been linked with him, and the Bundesliga have the best interest of young English players from the Premier League, just with the likes of Jude Bellingham and Reece Oxford, who's still over there with Gusberg. And I would take him. Gallagher, yes, just because he's had a bit of experience in the league. But obviously, with what Tony said about N'Golo Kante, they've still got Jorginho and I think that's it. But who was on the bench yesterday? And obviously, if he's needed, well, we're going to have to look at someone else. But if Kante's injuries and serious, then I think we should go in for him if he's not going to be out for long, and Jorginho will be in his place. And Pulisic, yes, just because he's not getting the game time as he's wanted at Chelsea, and he looks a decent player. And I have a soft spot for Borussia Dortmund. He was class, and I want him because I've got a soft spot for Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, Borussia Dortmund was having a cracking side of the Bundesliga anyway, top of the table. I think the top of the table with Bayern Munich. Go through these comments as well. Jack saying, those Argentinian defenders are hard and nasty, do anything win. A certain Mr. Romero pulled Cucurella's hair yesterday, which led to Spurs' equalising goal. Do Benfica fans miss the days of Graham Souness, signing players like Saunders, Thomas, Pembridge, Hartness, Charles and Dean? Oh my God. Where's these Portuguese talents there, man?
No, it's a funny story because he came in January of 27, I believe, and in the first half of his spell at Benfica, the second turn of that championship, 97-98, I believe, he did a tremendous job. Benfica was the best player in the second phase of the league. We scored the most points. We won Porto 3-0. So I think that led to believe our president at the time that this man knows what he's doing. What he wants, Michael Thomas, for sure. Graham Souness, bring him in. And then we had Gary Charles, Dean Saunders. I mean, if you look at now, 20 years later, it's mind blowing. How on earth those kind of players got to play for us? But the fact is, they did, and they did all of the same times. I mean, I think the worst of the lot was probably it was Steve Harkness. Steve Harkness was unbelievable. Steve Harkness was tremendous. It was bad. It was really bad. So his spell ended as quickly as it began. So, but it was fun. It was fun times. He always had we had a banner for. He said that the Michael Thomas had big balls because the Benfica fans hated him. It was we used to whistle when he had the ball, just for you to imagine how bad he was for us. We booed our own player. We hated Michael Thomas, and so we said Michael Thomas had big balls in the press conference. So we had a banner for Benfica. We have big balls in every game. So it was lousy. It was pretty bad. But we have funny stories thanks to Graham Souness. So it wasn't all bad.
The boy sound less at Benfica. Doesn't sound right. He must just change that team for England, Scotland, man. I'm telling you, just change the flipping name. Wow. Yeah. Got some more comments there. Just a few more. I think we're getting Pedro from Watford for Aston Vincent. No, we're not, because that deal's been rejected out of hand. And for me, it's alarming. 3 goals for Watford just tells its own story, by the way. 25 years supporting Newcastle, never be confident, but this year just feels different. Not just cost of money, just the players are playing for Eddie. The thing is about us being linked to João Paulo Pedro for Watford is that the lad for Brazil, and I've got a feeling we'll be linked to every single Brazil and the stock. Casemiro next, by the way. Pedro is definitely not the Pedro that played for Barcelona. He plays for Lazio now. Chelsea putting bids in for Gordon. 44 mil is ridiculous. 1.5 season in the Premier League has gone daft football. Before we wrap up, thank you for coming on anyway. And Ross Barkley, no thank you. Do you think the Premier League, when it comes to money, is getting out of hand now? With overpriced, ridiculous money, paying on.
You are probably ruining the market for all the other teams, especially for the lower tier teams in Portugal, in France, in the Netherlands. The market is absolutely mental. So there is so much money circulating especially between the English clubs. I don't know. It seemed a few years. It seemed crazy that one player could go for 100 million. It was crazy at the time, and now look at what we're having. We have Grealish, who is a above average player. He's a good player, but he's not Messi. Going for 100 millions or so. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But you have so much money because your league is so good.
Absolutely,
so I think it's a bit of a consequence of that. But it's crazy. I don't know how will this end. In my head, it's not possible. How can you pay so much? And the wages. I believe Jesse Lingard was his wages were about £400 a month or whatever. It's crazy. He's an average player. I don't know how you can manage your clubs like this. It's crazy for us. In looking from the outside, from the Portuguese league, it's absolutely crazy. We have to count our pennies and sell our best players, and then you go and buy Grealish for 100 million and pay Lingard 400 a month. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Ridiculous,
but it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. And one final question before we wrap up, for sure. Gonzalo Ramos to Newcastle, yes or no?
I would say yes. I think we'll come in with a bid for him. I'm hoping so anyway. But I would have him definitely 100%, John. Yeah. And
Mason?
Can I just mention one? Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Callum.
Yeah, I just mentioned one thing. I don't know if anybody's seen it on Twitter, the video going around of Kylian Mbappe, but he goes into a sulk and stops playing because he didn't have the ball passed to him. If you haven't seen it, just go on Twitter, you'll find it. It's on there. He sulked because Vitinha didn't pass the ball to him and he stopped playing altogether.
Bless him. I'll check out that one in a bit, by the way. I'll definitely check him, but he wants to show as well, by the way. What about you, Mason? Yes or no for Ramos? Do you think he'll come to the Police or no?
Hopefully, and if he does, I'll just give it a lot of chance because he can score goals against Fulham and us and Liverpool. Just shows I think he is capable for the Premier League. If he can score against 3 English teams, I think he is capable for the Premier League.
Fair enough. And for you, Nuno, Ramos to Newcastle United, yes or no?
I think it all depends on you, honestly. If you want to pay 35-40 millions, I will think he will go there because we don't have the urgency to sell. But I think Benfica are willing to sell. Like I said earlier, we have another player ready to take the place. So that's why I think probably if you go to the price we want, he will probably go. And I think Newcastle will be a good club for him to grow and to develop the player. His work ethic is tremendous, I tell you. So let's see.
Just got a couple more comments. Jack saying, get a couple players in time for the trip to Anfield. Tanji saying, are we panicking for players like Ramos? So hasn't played much top flight footy. Good prospect, but come on, 33 million euros or 30 million quid. Ramos won't come. He said he is happy. He is happy at Benfica and don't want to leave. Nobody knows, mate. Nobody knows what's happening. It's just coming out of different sources, yeah? We don't know. You guys don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Nobody knows until the money is all about the money.
Just one more thing. You will probably only get news about this after Benfica play the second leg against Dynamo Kiev in about a week and a half. So you will probably won't get any news earlier than that, because we will not sell our main striker before the second game against Dynamo Kiev. We need to win both games to get in the Champions League, and that's about 50 million right there. So we won't sell Ramos before that. That's for sure.
Is that the third leg? Is that the third leg?
It's a playoff. It's a playoff. Yeah. If we win against Dynamo Kiev, we are in the Champions League. Yeah.
Good luck to you on that one, by the way. I just can't see him going anywhere then, because there you go. That's just proves the point. I just cannot see Benfica selling yet. That's it for that one, guys. We're going to wrap it up there. It's come to 8 o'clock. If you do like the video, and before we go, we started you, Nuno. Where can we find you on your socials, mate? Can you tell the viewers we can find you on your socials?
Yeah, we're on Twitter mainly, Benfica_FM. We also on YouTube. We have a show a bit like yours. We do weekly podcasts about Benfica, obviously. And so you can find us there if you are interested. Benfica FM. If you understand Portuguese, I don't know if you do, but we are there in all the social media, but mainly on Twitter and on YouTube. We also have another project called the Benfica Independentes, the translation Independent Benfiquistas. It's a more cultural thing. We talk about all the things extra football, not only the game. Obviously about Benfica. We did a show with another Newcastle lads before when we met on the game in the preseason. I can't remember what was the podcast called, but it was Norman from Newcastle. He was a tremendous guy. He was having a few beers with us before the game. Top lad. I'm sure all the Newcastle fans are. So I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you, and maybe we'll talk again in a few weeks when Ramos goes to Newcastle or Wolves or whatever.
Definitely, man. Just hang fire a minute, man. But definitely, man, it'd be great to have you on as well. Tony, where do you find you, mate? For the viewers who don't know.
Yep. So I'm down there at TonyTooney31 on Twitter. Give me a follow, and I'll follow you back.
Thank you very much indeed, and Mason.
Mason4 on Twitter, and I'll follow you back if you send us a request.
Big up. And for me, it's John_NUFC42 on Twitter, John Sinclair 50 lowercases on Instagram, and John Sinclair TV on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on Twitch. Do check us out on those. And if you like the video, like to see, please hit the like button. Also subscribe as well. It does help the channel a lot. If you'd like to super chat through here or super chat through the thanks option, click on the thanks and just give what you can. And if you'd like to become a member, 99p. That's all it is. Just 2 more comments here. Great show, great go. Yes. Good luck to Benfica out of the season. Apart from when they play Pontamonese, got to support our teams in black and white. Have a good night, guys. Have a good night. Foxy, thank you very much for joining in. And also, yes, thank you for the show, guys. I appreciate that. Guys, thanks so much for the deed. And I'm going to do you guys backstage. And I should be back tomorrow for the Premier League roundup for the John, Tony, and Messi show. And going to do the Premier League roundup as well. So please join us on that one if you can. And until then, guys, on that bombshell, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And goodbye for now.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks for tuning in.